We're here today with an update, a COVID-19 update, and we're going to talk today to Chris Massengill. Chris is with St. Tammany Corporation. He is the executive director for St. Tammany Corporation, and he's joining us today to talk to us about a lot of things that are going to impact our economy and some solutions and resources that St. Tammany Corp offers to our community. So thank you for joining us today, Chris.
Thank you, Amy, for having me.
So let's start and let's introduce you to the community.
Sure.
Most people know about St. Tammany Corporation and their mission, but some of our viewers may not. So if you can kind of just give a brief description of that, and then we can talk about what's going on right now in the community.
Well, thank you, Amy. The St. Tammany Corporation is the economic development organization for St. Tammany. Our job is to help grow businesses, attract businesses, help people connect to business resources, to really position St. Tammany to be the destination of choice as people look at growing, as people look at relocating, as we look to making sure that we're eliminating barriers for businesses, that we're working with our government partners to make sure we're creating continuity in business operations, supporting that ecosystem. The job of an economic development practitioner is more than just announcements about and ribbon cuttings. It's literally about helping the ecosystem, the environment where businesses can grow, they can relocate, and we can certainly have a place for talent. And St. Tammany is definitely one of those places. We fuel the entire state's economy with talent and businesses, and it's our job to help make sure that we can sustain that.
So like you said, part of your mission is continuity and support that ecosystem.
And now more than ever, you have a critical role because, as we've all seen, this pandemic has taken a toll on our community in a lot of different ways, and the business sector has particularly taken a large hit. So if you can talk with us now that your role is it's so prominent and it's so much in the forefront, even more than ever, can you tell us some of the ways that you are working within that role and have kind of shifted gears to adjust to this community situation that we're in now?
Yes, ma'am. Well, particularly during a time of a national disaster or an emergency that we're in now, we're tackling on two major fronts. Obviously, we have the national health crisis that we're doing our part. We're social distancing. In fact, we have the technology and the capability to operate a full-service economic development organization, assisting our businesses, our elected officials, our community stakeholders with a virtual office. I can do video. I can see all of my team members. They can see me. If you call our office, you're going to get us because of the technology that we have to prop up a full-service operation. But our primary focus to repivot during an emergency is to be a disseminator of information, to be a trusted resource center. It's a one-stop shop. You can go to sttammanycorp.org, our resource page. It is a direct link to all of the resources for our community stakeholders and our businesses. The other responsibility we have is to be a very important allied partner in propping up the emergency support functions. We work directly with LED. We work with our regional partner, GNO Inc. out of New Orleans, and then obviously we respond and we're at the ready for Parish President Cooper in the context of making sure we're doing our job to prop up, to help support, sustain, and provide resources for our business community. We don't have a community without a strong economy and an economic engine, and the last thing that we want to do is to see that damaged. So the other battle that we're fighting is the economic battle. It's the unseen enemy, as you've seen in the press. So we're doing our part on the health side. We know we've got a national pandemic that we're trying to do our part, be responsible, keep the social distancing, adhere to what the president and the Cooper is telling us and the governor to make sure we're doing our part. But we're also working behind the scenes to make sure that we're trying to prop up, help stabilize, and be a good conduit for all of these amazing relief resources that are coming from our federal government to help our businesses.
And in doing that, we have a lot of businesses that are saying, what do I do now? No one saw this coming as far as how it would impact the big business community in a lot of ways. Some people may have seen it coming, but may have not been all the way prepared for something of this magnitude. And so I know there's a lot of businesses out there who are like, where do I start? What do I do? People have lost their jobs. Where do I start? What do I do? And we have such a robust business support community. And I think that, your organization sort of leads that as far as your leadership with your information that you get from the state.
Yes, ma'am.
But also through partnerships and relationships. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the partnerships that are out there to help not only the business owner, but also the person who is now unemployed?
Right. Well, Amy, that's actually a great description. Sometimes we've described it. You remember when you had a cell phone and you had the docket in a docking station? Where an economic development organization is like a docking station. It's the connecting point between all of these various stakeholders that impact our economy, that help impact our economic opportunities. Partners like the St. Tammany Chamber of Commerce, a wonderful partner. They're doing amazing work for their memberships, particularly with St. Tammany Eats. They're paying attention to the restaurants because we know in this particular financial crisis that's looming, that's right on top of us, many of our small businesses, particularly our retail and service industries, are being displaced the most. And so we have to make sure that we're paying attention to that sector. The Chamber's doing a phenomenal job of that. We have incredible technical partners like the Louisiana Small Business Development Center at Southeastern. They're the ones that's been directed by the Small Business Administration to kind of be that technical expert when it comes to the SBA processes. In fact, we're partnering with them doing 2 workshops, webinars every day, helping people get through that application process. One in the morning at 9 a.m. that deals with the application process specifically. And then in the afternoon, they're talking about the CARES Act, particularly the Paycheck Protection Program. And then we're teaming up with the North Shore Society of Human Resource Managers, SHRM, to make sure people understand the technical and legalities of the Family First, which was the first stimulus package that came from Washington. There's a lot of nuances to that. It opened up a lot of eligibility. It expanded the opportunity for employees to take the Family Medical Leave Act. And so we're doing those workshops actually right now at 10:30 every morning. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We had one yesterday, was our first one. We're doing one today, and then there'll be one tomorrow. Then we're working, as I mentioned, like with Tri-Parish. Tri-Parish Works. That's the local workforce that we owe here in St. Tammany Parish. And they're doing wonderful work to helping assist employees get through the unemployment insurance application and directing job seekers to employers. They are a tremendous partner. We're working with the North Shore Technical Community College because they are a key partner in economic development. Workforce education and economic development go hand in hand. In fact, what gives us a competitive edge in St. Tammany Parish from an economic development standpoint is our education, K through 12, and our higher ed. We have the education system that people want here. And so we're working very closely with our higher ed partners, and then obviously our economic development partners with GNO Inc. and with the Louisiana Economic Development Department.
So tell people that's an amazing network that is laid out here for everyone to kind of take advantage of. So the webinars, those are free to the public. Can anyone join the webinar? And what's the process? Just not getting too far in the weeds, because we'll have some on our website and on our social media, which we have some of that already, but just give people a little brief overview in case they're like, oh, wait, I might want to check that out, but is it free? And what do I have to do?
You bet. Well, thank you for asking that. It is free. They can go to sttamanycorp.org to register. All of these are through the Zoom platform. It seems like that's the new world. We're in the Zoom world now. So download the app and you can get connected to us that way. But you can sttamanycorp.org or you can call our office at any time at 985-809-7874. And one of our team members will connect with you immediately to walk you through that. And you can call us any time with that. And we've got, good, we've also got kind of some non-traditional partners. We have a wonderful resource in St. Tammany Parish with the North Shore Community Foundation. They do amazing work. We partner with them. They're doing some amazing work now to prop up our food banks. And they kind of kick in during an emergency status. I know that they've already done that. They've been deploying grant resources already. And so there is a strong network in St. Tammany Parish, which is not surprising, right? This is not our first rodeo. the fine people of Louisiana and St. Tammany Parish, we're strong, we're resilient, we're going to get through this too. But it's difficult. It is a difficult time. We can't candy coat it. This is not going away anytime soon. And it's a two-war battle, one on the health side and then one on the economic side, and it's serious.
And that kind of leads me to my next thought, which was, what are some of the challenges you're hearing from the business community that sort of shape your response as you go forward? Because you have this wonderful foundation laid out, but there's probably times when you have to continue to sort of sculpt out a way to get to certain needs that are growing as a result of different circumstances that occur. As we know, every single day something new changes. And so what are some of the challenges you're hearing from the business community that you're addressing?
Well, let's take a quick second and think about pre-COVID-19. Our economy was really humming. We saw some amazing opportunities from an economic development standpoint when it comes to growing the jobs and creating additional opportunities. St. Tammany Parish was really in a driver's seat with that. We've seen business permits increase coming out of 19. We now know that the last quarter of 2019, we were in a strong economic position here in St. Tammany Parish. We've seen job growth over the past 3 years, twice as high as the national average, 20 times higher than the state. Right. We had a strong economy, and we actually saw increase in per capita income. We had the highest median household income in the entire state. Our unemployment was as low as it's been in 50 years. So we were positioned very well. But then COVID-19 hit. Then businesses had to close. Now remember, we still have a lot of businesses operating. Luckily, they are deemed essential businesses. People are still going to work. But as you and I talk right now, we've got 17,000 people trying to seek unemployment benefits or applications through that process. When you look at the St. Tammany economy, there are 5 major components of the St. Tammany economy. And particularly when you take out government, you've got retail, you got healthcare, you got accommodations and food services, you've got construction, and then you get to things like professional, scientific, and technical services. Those are the 5 biggest contributions of our economy in terms of jobs. So when you look at that number, you're talking about, when it comes to a service-based economy, which is a big part of the St. Tammany economy, that's over 35,000 jobs that could be potentially impacted. That's over 3,000 businesses in St. Tammany Parish that make up that industry sector. These are businesses that we know oftentimes have maybe 30 days or 60 days of cash balances that they can operate on. And that's why the timing of this is so important. So if there's a business out there that's trying to hold on, that, well, I just don't want to go through the process, let me encourage you, if you're watching this, to get into the pipeline, because we know time is of the essence. The sooner we get these resources and these programs fully implemented, these applications approved, these loans approved, and banks start issuing checks, the sooner we can start recovering. And we know that there is going to be a lag time. They're saying anywhere from 20 to 25 days to get these SBA applications processed, approved, and then checks cut. So every day is critical. And we want to make sure businesses get access to these resources. We know that Congress is already contemplating 2 additional relief type of packages before we even start talking about the stimulus packages once our economy starts recovering. So this is a very serious time. It's an uncertain time, but there are resources available, and we want our businesses to get into the pipeline now.
Yes, and so it's when you're telling me about that, I'm picturing the businesses. They didn't expect this, and so a lot of people are just sort of stunned right now. But now, in that state, move forward real quick, push through it, get the application done. Let's start the process going, and that is where you come in as far as gathering all these resources together. So, is there?
That's right. No, I'm sorry, but you just you hit the nail on the head. during a time of an emergency situation, and particularly in this, because our focus on our end is so much on the business and the economic side, we've completely pivoted to. We operate something that's called Advanced St. Tammany, which is our technical business assistance program. It's a multi-layered, customized business retention and expansion program. And what we're doing now, about 75% of our time is fully focused on immediate technical assistance, because we know time is so critical, and we've got to help businesses link up to the technical assistance that they need, their trusted banker, talk to their CPA, get connected to the SBDC, start going through this process, collecting the right information. So we're spending about 75% of our time on immediate technical assistance, because that's so crucial right now, disseminating that information, being kind of a clearinghouse of all of these resources, and help people just understand the process, understand what this means. The rules are changing daily, and that's been a little bit of the hiccup. But listen, we need to applaud our government. We need to applaud our federal delegation. We need to applaud the ability for government to be so responsive. This has never happened in our history. This is even the resources that we're seeing come from our government is even more than we saw during the Great Depression. This is New Deal era type of resources that are coming down to help stabilize and prop up our businesses. But part of the issue is getting it implemented. It's so crucial. And so we're trying to encourage our business partners to be patient, keep trying, be persistent. They've had a couple of issues on the technology side. Rules and guidance continues to be shared with the bankers so they can get fully operational, but the banks are responding in really an amazing way. They want to do this. So if people are getting mad at their bankers, don't get mad at your banker. They're only doing what the government tells them to do within the ability that they have with the rules and regs and the guides. We will get through this. Guidance is coming out every day. The program's getting tweaked, and the system is working. You just got to give it time to go through the process. Because listen, the pressure that's on this has never happened like this before. Right. Normally we set up offices. We've got disaster field offices. We've got all these other things in motion. Well, that's not the case. We're forcing everybody to go online. So right. The system is being taxed in one regard. Then you're changing $2 trillion worth of resources trying to get out in this country in a program that wasn't built to do that. Right. So we have to understand that, and the program is moving forward. Bankers are responding, and they're trying hard to get these resources out the door.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to cover? Because I know that your time is valuable. It's evidenced by all of the things you just laid out for us. So is there anything else that you want to specifically touch on, or is there any kind of final message or anything you want to say to people who are listening right now?
Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate the opportunity. I would encourage folks to go to sttamanycorp.org. The other thing I think I would put out there for folks to think about, if you're an employer looking for employees, go to our website. We've got something called the St. Tammany Jobs Connect that we're working in partnership with Tri-Parish. Go there. We can link you up to where you can post your job. If you are a job seeker looking for some bridge employment, go to St. Tammany Jobs Connect. That's a portal, that's a platform that can connect that information together, because, listen, every segment of our economy is being impacted one way or the other. And some of our industry partners are actually seeing an increase in business opportunities and productivity. We've seen businesses pivot, make a new product to respond to the national health crisis. We've got people right here in St. Tammany Parish that need employees. Mm-hmm. And so there is opportunities. If you're looking for some bridge employment, we want to help connect you with that. So please reach out to us. And then the last thing I would say is that, look, we're going to get through this. We had a strong foundation, a strong economic foundation in St. Tammany Parish. This is a place where talent lives. This is a place where businesses can grow and thrive. And we're going to continue to put a lot of effort to make sure we continue to go in that direction. So we appreciate President Cooper. We appreciate the partnership. And Amy, thank you for letting me come on.
Well, thank you so much for making time, and we are going to share all of these resources. Many of these resources are already on our website, www.stp.org, stpgov.org, I'm sorry. And also on social media, and we share lots of things from St. Tammany Corporation and their partners. And so we encourage everyone to go and seek those resources out. Thank you again, Chris, for being with us. And that's our update for today.